The dazzling aura of luxury supercars, sprawling real estate portfolios, and sharp get-rich advice on social media once created an irresistible image of TikToker MrBips, also known as Pho Duc Nam. To many, he symbolized rapid success, a young financial expert who knew how to turn opportunities into wealth. But behind that glamorous facade lay a very different reality, a sophisticated fraud network worth more than 1,300 billion VND, operated like a meticulously programmed machine, with its roots in lessons learned abroad. According to the investigation conclusions recently released by Vietnamese authorities, Pho Duc Nam's criminal journey was far from spontaneous. It was carefully planned from the start. From trips to Turkey to study fraudulent Forex models, to building a workforce of hundreds in Vietnam, everything was designed like a complete script. Upon returning home, Nam quickly implemented the model, renting offices, recruiting staff, and organizing departments like a professional company. But that was only a cover. In reality, the entire system had one purpose: to lure, manipulate, and ultimately defraud investors. The trading platforms promoted by the group were not legally recognized in Vietnam. They were built on platforms like MT4 and MT5, tools that are legitimate in international trading, but were twisted into instruments of fraud. Nam's group created intermediary websites linked to these applications to appear professional, convincing users they were investing in global financial markets. The scheme began with enticing promises: small investments, high returns, and fast withdrawals. Victims were often allowed to win a few small trades at first and successfully withdraw money, building trust. But this was only the opening move. Once greed and confidence were triggered, victims were guided into larger investments, with one-on-one experts offering support. That's when the trap snapped shut. These so-called experts were actually employees trained with scripted tactics. They used psychological manipulation to pressure victims into depositing more money, even encouraging them to borrow funds to recover losses. Trades were manipulated to ensure accounts quickly lost money or incurred heavy fees. When victims lost everything, they were invited to join a new platform with promises of winning back their losses, creating a vicious, inescapable cycle. To operate smoothly, Pho Duc Nam's organization was divided into multiple departments: IT, marketing, telesales, customer service, and internal security. Offices had no signage, and employees were forbidden to meet clients in person to avoid detection. Recruitment required no financial expertise, only obedience to scripts and sales targets. The operation expanded across major Vietnamese cities such as Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh City, and Da Nang, and even extended into Cambodia. Numerous shell companies, bank accounts, and e-wallets were used to receive victims' money, which was then quickly dispersed to hide its origin. A significant portion of the funds was laundered through high-value asset purchases. The results of the investigation and searches were staggering. Authorities froze and seized assets worth more than 5,000 billion VND, including hundreds of billions in cash, large savings deposits, more than 200 kilograms of gold, 128 real estate properties, and dozens of vehicles. Additional assets abroad and funds in digital wallets brought the total recovered value to approximately 5,300 billion VND. This is not just an ordinary fraud case, it is an exceptionally serious criminal case with a high level of organization and enormous financial damage. Pho Duc Nam and dozens of accomplices are being prosecuted on multiple charges, including fraud and money laundering. Investigations are still ongoing to identify all victims and trace the complete flow of funds. One notable aspect of this case is asset recovery, particularly assets held overseas and digital assets. Legal experts point out that recovering such assets is highly complex due to international laws and mutual legal assistance agreements. In countries without clear cooperation mechanisms, recovery may require diplomatic channels. As for cryptocurrencies, assets not legally recognized as payment methods in Vietnam, the situation presents additional challenges. However, if proven to be proceeds of crime, authorities can still confiscate and convert them as part of the legal process. While the final legal outcome will be determined in court, the consequences are already clear. Thousands of victims have lost money, trust, and in some cases their entire financial future, all because they believed in promises of quick wealth. This case serves as yet another warning about the dangers lurking in the digital space. In a world where anyone can claim to be an expert and where images of wealth can be easily fabricated, awareness and critical thinking are the only true safeguards. There is no such thing as easy money without risk, and certainly no expert is willing to make you rich overnight without hidden motives. If an opportunity sounds too good to be true, it is very likely a trap waiting to be sprung. As financial scams grow increasingly sophisticated, equipping oneself with financial knowledge, understanding legal frameworks, and maintaining a rational mindset is more important than ever. Ultimately, the most valuable asset to protect is not just money, but one's judgment, awareness, and trust.
Thank you for watching this story. If you found it meaningful, please subscribe, turn on notifications, and share this video. And now it's time to say goodbye. Thank you for staying with Societal Stories.